So good day everyone. Welcome to the second week of our subject STEM 003 Basic Calculus. So for this meeting or for this week, we are going to talk about the right hand and the left hand limits. Okay. So last week we discussed about the concept of limits on how to evaluate the limits. Now we will going to determine if the limits exist or do not exist in a given scenario. Okay. So this is the concept of the right hand and the left hand limits. So right hand limit, let f be a function at every number in some open interval. Then the limit of f of x as x approaches c from the right is L, written as the limit of f of x as x approaches c from the right is equal to L. So again, ang basa dun ay the limits of f of x as x approaches c from the right. So, this is equal to L. So, ibig sabihin, pag sinabing approaches C from the right, ito yung number or value na nag-a-approach from the right. Okay. How about the left-hand limit? So, the left-hand limit, we will let f be a function at every number in some open interval. Then the limit of f of x as x approaches c from the left is L, written as the limit of f of x as x approaches c from the left is equal to L. So meaning, ang c natin is approaches from the left. Ibig sabihin, yung number or value na nag-a-approach from the left. So let's say for example, the value of c is if the value of c is 3, so therefore if it's from the left, that is 2.999 and so on. So kapag naman siya, ito ay from the left ha, from the left. Kapag naman siya ay from the right, okay? Kapag from the right, it is 3.0001 and so on. So, yan ang concept ng right hand at saka left hand limits. Again, sa right hand limit, the value of C is approaches from the right, and kapag left hand limit, the value of C is approaches from the left. Okay, so what is the theorem on the existence of limits? So a function f of x has a limit as x approaches c if and only if the right hand and left hand limits at c exist and are equal. In symbols, if we have the limits of f of x as x approaches c, uh, it must be the limits of f of x as x approaches c from the right is equal to the limit of f of x as x approaches c from the left. So, ibig sabihin lamang po nito, kapag kinuha natin yung the limits of a function as x approaches c from the right and c from the left, kailangan yung makukuha nating value dun ay equal. Kapag nag-equal siya, then we can say that the limit exists. And if not, the limit does not exist. Okay. Let's have the given example. So this is an example of a piecewise function. So a piecewise function, again, it is a function wherein the functions are cut into pieces. Okay, the first thing that we need to consider here is to find the value of c. So as you can see, the value of c is the number wherein at the at the function we have a conditions, or we have conditions for each function. So if we have 2x plus 3, the condition is x must be less than 1, and if it's 4, x must be equal to 1, and if it's x squared plus 2, x must be greater than 1. Okay, so the first step that we need to do in this lesson or in this part is we need to find the value of c. So the value of c is 1. Okay? The value of c is 1. Now, The first thing that we are going to solve is the limit as x approaches c from the right. So we have 1 from the right. Okay? 1 from the right. When we say 1 from the right, okay, 1 from the right, it considers the condition x must be greater than 1, 'di ba? So kapag 1 from the right, it fits the condition x greater than 1. So therefore, ang pipiliin natin na function ay kung alin yung greater than 1, which is the third function. Okay? So third function, ang condition niya is x greater than 1. So uh, we will pick this function as our expression. Our function must be na kailangan nating evaluate ang limit. So we have x squared plus 2. Okay? So we have the limit of x squared plus 2 as x approaches 1 from the right. So in this case, bakit nga ba x squared plus 2? It's because it fits the condition 1 from the right, x must be greater than 1. Eh, alin ba sa tatlong to yung greater than 1? Eh, yung third function. Kaya siya yung pinili natin. And now, we are going to evaluate this by substituting 1 from x. So we have 1 squared plus 2. So therefore, we can say that the limit as x approaches 1 from the right is equal to 1 plus 2 or 3. Okay. So nakuha na natin yung limits as x approaches 1 from the right. Now, kukunin naman natin yung limits as x approaches 1 from the left. Kapag naman sinabing 1 from the left, okay, 1 from the left, it must satisfy the condition x must be less than 1. Okay? X must be less than 1. So, alin ba dito sa function ang x less than 1 ang condition? Masasabi natin na it's the first equation, if first function. So, that is 2x plus 3. So, ikokopyahin natin dito yung 2x plus 3. Okay? So, after that, after nating mag-get yung function na nagsasatisfy ng condition na x less than 1 kasi nga 1 from the left, so, i-evaluate lang natin siya by substituting 1 from x. So, we have 2 times 1 plus 3. And then you have 2 plus 3, you will get 5. Okay, now, the right hand limit is 3, 1 from the right. And then the left hand limit is 5, 1 from the left. Now, if we analyze the answer, 3 is not equal to 5. Anong ibig sabihin? Kapag hindi nag-equal, it is not or the limit does not exist. Again, kapag hindi nag-equal yung right hand limit sa left hand limit, we can say that the limit, okay, does not exist. Okay? So, ganyan lang po mag-solve ng theorem of the existence of limit. Nag-exist ba ang limit o hindi? Okay? Let's have another example. So if we have a function 3x plus 2 if x is greater than 3, 4x squared if x equals 3, x plus 5 if x is less than 3. So the first thing that we are going to do is to find the value of c. So as you can see in the given, the value of c is 3 kasi siya lang yung nasa condition. Okay? So now, the first thing na gagawin natin ay kukunin natin yung limits as x approaches 3 from the right. So, right hand limit tayo. So, kapag kukunin natin yung function na 3 from the right, it must satisfy, okay, 3 from the right, it must satisfy the condition x is greater than 3. So, actually, dito sa given natin, ang greater than 3 na condition ay 3x plus 2. So, yun yung gagamitin natin na function, 3x plus 2. And next, we are going to substitute 3 by x. So you have 3 times 3 plus 2. And then you'll have 3 times 3 is 9 plus 2. This will give you 11. So, nakuha natin yung right-hand limit natin na 11. Okay, now, how about the left-hand limit? So, we are going to identify or to solve for the limit as x approaches 3 from the left. Now, kapag naman 3 from the left, we are going to find the condition that is x less than 3. So in the given, x less than 3 satisfies the function x plus 5. So we are going to use the function x plus 5. Okay. So after that, we are going to substitute 3 by x. So you have 3 plus 5. And then 3 plus 5 is 8. Okay, now the right hand limit is 11 and the left hand limit is 8, which indicates that 11 is not equal to 8. And therefore, we can say that this or the limit in this function does not exist. Okay, the limit does not exist. Okay, next example. So if we have 3, if x is less than negative 3, square root of 9 minus x squared if x is in between negative 3 and 3, and negative 3 if x is greater than 3. So now, kung mapapansin ninyo dito sa ating given, dalawa ang value ng c. So kapag ganito ang itsura ng ating function, dalawa ang value ng c. Ano-ano yon? We have negative 3 and we have um, positive 3. So doon muna tayo sa, hatiin natin. Doon muna tayo sa c is equal to negative 3. Okay? C is equal to negative 3. So now, um, ang gagawin natin ay hahanap tayo ng or i-identify natin yung limits as x approaches, okay, negative 3 from the right. Kasi nga, right hand limit. Okay, right hand limit. So, negative 3 from the right. So, anong ibig sabihin? Kailangan it must satisfy the condition x must be greater than negative 3. Okay? Hanapin natin yung condition na x greater than negative 3. Yung first function, x is less than negative 3. So, ibig sabihin, hindi siya nag-satisfy sa condition na yon. So, saan siya makikita? Sa second function. It's because x is greater than or equal to negative 3. Kaya yung pangalawang function ang pipiliin natin. Again, so ang meron lang namang negative 3 ay first function and second function. Since ang first function natin ay less than, hindi greater than, yung pangalawa ang understood na pipiliin natin na function. So we will have the square root of 9 minus x squared. Okay, so after getting the function which deals with x is greater than 3, so we are going to substitute 3 by x in the function. So we have square root of 9 minus negative 3 squared. Okay, so we have square root of 9 minus 3, negative 3 squared is positive 9. So 9 minus 9, this will give us square root of 0. And square root of 0 is equal to 0. Okay? So now, the right-hand limit is 0. Let's have the left-hand limit. So the left-hand limit is, we are going to solve for the limit as x approaches negative 3 from the left. So, negative 3 from the left, ano ba yung negative 3 from the left? Anong function? So, ibig sabihin, it must satisfy the condition x less than negative 3. So, understood na ang ating limit ay, ang ating function na gagamitin ay yung 3. Now, kapag nakita natin to, ito, the limit of a constant which is 3. kapag kinukuha yung limit ng constant, kung ano yung constant, yun na yung sagot. Okay? Kung ano yung given na constant, yun na yung sagot. Kasi wala tayong variable na present sa function. So therefore, wala tayong isa-substitute. Therefore, the limit is 3. So now, the right-hand limit is 0 and the left-hand limit is 3, which indicates that 0 is not equal to 3. We can say that the limits does not exist. Okay? So now, let's have another thing. So we have also a value of C which is 3. Okay? Dalawa kasi ang value ng C, isang negative 3, isang positive 3. So dito naman, ganun din yung gagawin natin. Kukunin natin yung limit ng function. Okay. So kunin natin yung limit ng function na from the right, 3 from the right. So limit as x approaches 3 from the right. So ano ba yung function na 3 from the right? Okay? So it must satisfy that x is greater than 3. So kung makikita natin dito, we have the third function x greater than 3. So ang gagamitin natin ay yung negative 3. Okay? So now, a negative 3 is a constant. So kahit ano pang ilagay mo dyan na number dito sa approaching value, okay? Constant to. So ibig sabihin, constant lang din ang sagot. Okay? Tulad ng ginawa natin dito sa part na to. Constant lang din yung sagot. So you have the limit of negative 3 as x approaches 3 from the right is equal to negative 3. So therefore, negative 3 ang ating limit as x approaches 3 from the right. Now, we are going to solve for the limit of a function as x approaches 3 from the left. So pag 3 from the left naman, kailangan makita natin yung condition na x less than 3. So kung makikita natin dito sa part na to, yung second function na nag-satisfy ng x less than 3. So we are going to use 9 minus x squared. So we have to substitute 3 by x. So we will have square root of 9 minus 3 squared. So you have square root of 9 minus 9. You will have square root of 0 is equal to 0. Okay? So the right-hand limit is negative 3 and the left-hand limit is 0. Then it indicates that negative 3 is not equal to 0. And it means that the limits does not exist. Okay? So, ganyan lang. So, next example. We have g of x is equal to x plus 2 if x is less than negative 2. Square root of 4 minus x squared if x is in between negative 2 and positive 2. And x squared minus 9 if x is greater than 2. So now, we have two values of C again. So hatiin lang ulit natin. Okay? Sa una, ang C natin ay negative 2. Sa pangalawa, ang C natin ay positive 2. Doon muna tayo sa negative 2. So again, ang una natin gagawin ay ifa-find natin yung limit ng isang function. So, find natin yung limit ng isang function as x approaches negative 2 from the right. So the limits as x approaches negative 2 from the right. So alin ba yung function na may greater than 2? Ay, greater than negative 2. So, ang unang function less than negative 2. So, understood, yung pangalawang function ang ating greater than 2. So, we have square root of 4 minus x squared. Okay? And after that, you are going to substitute negative 2 by x. So, you have square root of 4 minus negative 2 squared. So you'll have square root of 4 minus negative 2 squared is 4. And this will give you square root of 0, which give you 0. So the right hand limit is 0. So let's have another um, step for this given. So we are going to solve naman for the limits as x approaches negative 2 from the left. So negative 2 from the left, kailangan ang gagamitin natin ay kung alin ang may less than negative 2. So kung mapapansin natin dito, we have the condition at the first function x is less than negative 2. So we have to use x plus 2. So in this case, by substituting negative 2 by x, so you have negative 2 plus 2. And this will give you negative 2 plus 2, additive inverse siya. So it will become 0. So now, ang right hand limit mo ay 0 at ang left hand limit mo ay 0 and they are equal, we can say that the limits exist. Okay? Next, in the second value of c, tingnan natin kung mag-exist din ang limit sa kanya. So here naman, so we are going to find the limit as x approaches 2 from the right. So ibig sabihin kung alin yung greater than 2. So dito, ang greater than 2 ay yung pangatlong function. Bakit? Yung pangalawa kasi less than 2. So therefore, yung pangatlong function understood na yung greater than 2. So we are going to use x squared minus 9. Okay. So as you can see, we are going to substitute 2 by x. So you have 2 squared. Okay, 2 squared minus 9. And then you'll have 2 squared is 4 minus 9. This will give you negative 5. Okay? So, ating right hand limit is negative 5. Now, the left hand limit is we are going to find the limit as x approaches 2 from the left. So, 2 from the left naman, kung nagamit na natin yung third function, so second function lang ang ating natirang function na less than 2. So, we are going to use 4, square root of 4 minus x squared. Okay? So, by substituting 2 by x, we can get square root of 4 minus 2 squared. And this will give you the square root of 4 minus 4, the square root of 0, this will give you 0. So, since 0 or 5 is not equal, negative 5 is not equal to 0, we can say that the limits does not exist. Okay? So we can say that the limits does not exist for this part. So ibig sabihin, nag-exist lang siya dun sa part na negative 2 ang value ng ating C. Next. Let's have this one. So this one, we are going to find the value of C. So ang value ng C natin is 1. Okay? So value ng C natin ay 1. Yun lang yung number na nakalagay dun sa condition. Now, after that, we are going to evaluate the limit of the function as x approaches 1 from the right. So pag 1 from the right, we are going to identify which function will give you a condition x greater than 1. So, kung makikita natin yung pangatlong function ang x greater than 1. So, we are going to choose x squared plus 4 as our function. Okay. Now, after that, we are going to substitute 1 from x. So, you have 1 squared plus 4. And this will give you 1 squared is 1 plus 4 that is equal to 5. Okay, so the right hand limit is 5. Now, finding the left hand limit, that is the limit of f of x as x approaches 1 from the left. So pag 1 from the left naman, yung less than 1. So, alin ba yung less than 1? Yung first function. So, we are going to use 3x plus 2. Okay? Okay, now. So, by substituting 1 from x, so we have 3 times 1 plus 2. We have 3 plus 2. And this will give you 5. And now that the first or the right hand limit, which is 5, and the left hand limit, which is 5, indicates that they are equal. I know they are equal. We can say that the limits, okay, we can say that the limits exist. Okay, so that's all for this um presentation. So I hope you learned something from me in the topic, the right hand and the left hand limits. Ano ang kailangan natin tandaan dito sa right hand and left hand limits? Kapag right hand limit, it is the limit which is approaches from the right. And kapag naman left hand limit, the limit that is approaches from the left. And the theorem on the existence of limits, if the right hand limit and the left hand limit are equal, we can say that the limits exist. Otherwise, it does not exist. Okay? So kapag hindi siya equal, hindi nag-exist ang limit. Pag equal, nag-exist. So in our given examples, number 1, nung kinumpute natin yung right hand and left hand limit, ang right hand limit ay 3 at ang left hand limit ay 5. Eh hindi sila equal. Therefore, we can say that the limit does not exist. Doon sa example number 2 naman, ang nakuha natin ng right hand ay 11 at ang left hand ay 8. And they are not equal also. So therefore, the limit does not exist. So in example number 3, we have two value of C. So kinuha natin yung value of C ng una at saka value of C ng pangalawa. So ano ba yung mga value of C dyan? We have negative 3 and positive 3. Una muna, sinolve natin yung positive, ay yung negative 3. So nung kinuha natin yung ating limits ng negative 3, as to the right and to the left, and to the right ay 0 at and to the left ay 3, and they are also not equal, so therefore the limit does not exist. Doon naman sa 3, c is equal to 3, so kinuha natin yung right hand limit niya, nakuha natin ay negative 3 at ang left hand limit niya nakuha natin ay 0, they are not equal, the limit does not exist. Now, in example number 4 naman, sa first value of c natin na negative 2, ang right hand limit at saka left hand limit ay parehas na 0 na nag-equal, which indicates that the limits exist. Doon naman sa c is equal to 2, kasi nga yun yung isa pang value ng c natin. So, kinumpute natin yung right hand, nakuha natin negative 5. Kinumpute natin yung left hand, nakuha natin ay 0. They are not equal and therefore the limits does not exist. In example number 5 naman, so kinuha natin yung right hand limit, okay? That is 5 and the left hand limit is also 5 and they are equal, which indicates that the limits exist. So ganun lang siya. Kapag nag-equal, nag-exist. Kapag hindi, not exist. Okay? So yun lang naman. So thank you for listening and God bless everyone. I hope you learned something from me. Thank you.